Hey guys, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty for another episode of looking at ads, comic book ads. I really like these. Now, recently I did this comic book in an issue of Cover Battle. This is Wonder Woman issue number 11. So we're diving into the 80s. So this ought to be great. Just for a newsflash, I'm actually testing out a wireless mic right now. What I'm actually using right here right now is a new microphone setup. I'm actually testing this right now for a review. So if you want to check out that review, I should have it up. If not already, it will be up shortly. All right, guys, so let's take a look at this issue and see what we got in here. First thing we have is chocolate fun for everyone, M&Ms. We always had tons of candy advertisements in comic books back then. The target market was considered to be younger. It seems like today now, it's a little different story than what it used to be. I think it was more fun this way. For anybody that's not aware, they turned down advertising for E.T., M&M's and Mars did, and that's what gave Reese's a foothold and why Reese's was in that E.T. movie. But I think that's pretty common knowledge by now. Pretty cool stuff. The artwork in this issue is really good. I mean, look at that. We have George Perez artwork. We have Len Wein scripting. This is great time for Wonder Woman comics. If you're not familiar with that, you should definitely be checking it out. Now here, I never liked ads like this. They put the pimple advertisements in there. To be honest, at that age, I didn't have any issues. I've had more issues with breakouts and things like that as an adult in my 40s than I ever had during that period of time. I always found these to be disgusting. But if you ever tried Oxy-10 and it worked for you, I hope it did. If you had that issue, never was a fan of those. Absolutely disgusting. Oh, look at that. Once again, great artwork. You didn't have to trace things like Greg Land does all the time. People actually drew things. Ooh, cheap shot, cheap shot. Okay, now here we go. I loved these. These were to be able to order a large amount of comics because at this time, I had a comic book resale shop. And what I would do is I'd buy lots of comic books, literally from people and things like that. And I'd also, my specialty was finding comic books because this was before the internet where you could Google or you could go onto eBay. I would have to actually search around to find these comics that people would want. So I had a pretty big inventory of random stuff. That way if somebody wanted something, I could contact them and get a hold of it. But I'd sometimes look through these things too to find them, or I'd buy large lots when I could get them for cheap through those, as well as people in my local area to stock up. I think at one time my sales stock was probably about 10,000 comic books. And so, it was what it was. And so sometimes people go, well, you don't have a comic shop anymore, you're a failure. No. I decided to quit selling comic books. There's a difference. I shifted gears into a different business, which was more lucrative for me at the time because it's business, and I enjoyed doing this when I was that age and it worked out well for me. But the times have changed. There's different ways of getting things. The hunt for those products and the networking I had with lots of people, so I had a chain of people to communicate with and contact if I was looking for a certain issue. It's just not necessary anymore. So that was part of the fun. So I shifted my business, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. Anyway, those were cool. Now this advertisement I think is really interesting and awesome. It says the United States Army versus the United States of Rock, Sonic Disruptors. This was a 12-issue maxi series. I'm really interested in this. I might want to look for it and try to check it out. Find out who wins in this. It's by Mike Barron, Barry Crane, and John Nerberg. Sorry if I butchered your name. I have never read any of these. I'm pretty curious. Is this any good? If you've ever read this or even heard of it, let me know. Tell me what you know about it because I know nothing about this, but it looks pretty cool. I mean, look at that. We're going to run in there with our guitars. How 80s can we be? Absolutely awesome. Before I move on to the next ad though, I mean, look at the artwork in here. Excellent work. Really, really good. Man, you can't knock Perez on Wonder Woman. Absolutely amazing artwork. Well, page turning to the next ad. Look at that. I think that's just, she's diving underwater. All right, here we go. Warning. Read the stories and tremble for mortal terror of the most dangerous kind, wasteland. That's a cool ad. I really like that ad. You know, this is something that's essential. I think some of the artists need to understand. Giving a glimpse of insight, but not giving away the story is a really interesting way to make somebody want more. I often tell people, you could tell a comic if it succeeds, if at first it catches your attention. That is key. It has to catch your attention, then it needs to generate interest. So it caught your attention, now it generates your interest and creates a desire for you to read more. So if an advertisement lacks that, it doesn't get you to want to do anything. And then don't forget, you need the call to action. That's where you tell people where to get it or when they can get it. So for example, like, you could get it from a comic shop probably or a newsstand, so you needed to know when it comes out. Those are some really good marketing keys. It seems like the comic book industry fails at that. They expect their shills, the websites that they get pretty much as paid advertisement. They don't give truthful reviews and things always. Those are used some, but they fail in a lot of other aspects, like the marketing. For example, the current She-Hulk series. If you look at the current She-Hulk series, she's at a height of popularity right now because the news media she's getting because of her television show. Now, I can't say anything about the television show. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't comment on that. But so this should be a height of popularity. So when you go and you look at her comic book, she's up to issue number 6. There has not been a cover yet on that just gets your attention and generates interest and gives you the desire to buy that issue. It's been, and no offense to the artist, it's just the style that they're using fails, in my opinion, to do that. If you think differently, if you think the current series generates interest and is appealing from the cover, let me know. I'd like to know, because maybe it's just a vast difference in opinion there. But for me, it just doesn't work. I don't like it. You need something to create a draw. Put an advertisement up there that says, whoa, what am I missing here? Maybe She-Hulk, she's tackling new cases and new enemies at the same time. Can she handle both her daily life and her challenges of being a lawyer in today's society? Something like that. Something to really grab attention. The only way they're trying to grab attention right now is using, oh, she's a girl, which is absolutely ridiculous. She's been proven. She's proven herself for many, many years. She's been on many different teams, been an integral part. She's an amazing character. Let's give her some proper due. Anyway, here, let's look at this picture too before we move to the next ad. Look at that. That's really good. Next issue, Echoes of the Past. Really cool. Great artwork. Ah, yes. Here we are. One of these people has waited 1,000 years to betray us. Get the whole story in Millennium. And it shows 3 characters, 8 weekly issues, over 30 official crossovers, the DC event of the year. Now, remember I mentioned earlier, we want to capture attention. So we see characters here, and there's the line. One of these people has waited 1,000 years to betray us. There's your capture and capturing attention. That gets you. And then you read more. Get the whole story. They show you characters. So now you're going, you got interest. Which one of these characters is going to do the betrayal? And then, so that gives us our draw. It pulls us in. And then they tell us it's 8 issues. This is our call to action. And it tells us when and where we can get this. Overall, that's good marketing there. Great job on that. Excellent. And then we always have these. I always like looking at these 2 free months of DC Comics back when you could go, wow, look at what the prices were. And look, this is back when Batman was in the blue and gray. Superman there in the traditional garb. We got Barry Allen Flash, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. Can you believe there's people actually that don't know who Hal Jordan is? I've seen some things like, who's this Green Lantern? It's like, wow. No offense too, because I get it. They watched the Justice League cartoon. Maybe that was their segue. And so they got John Stewart, another amazing Green Lantern, but they didn't realize that Green Lantern is an intergalactic police corps. And Hal Jordan is like one of the most popular Green Lanterns. Actually, let's be honest, he is the most popular Green Lantern, and well deserved. And I also don't like it when people are like, oh, he's a vanilla character. If you think Hal Jordan's a vanilla character, you've never read Green Lantern with Hal Jordan. Just saying, he's far from it. And speaking of not vanilla, here we have the Chips Ahoy. Bet you bite a chip, fold in. I'm not going to fold this in. I wonder how many people folded their comics and now regret it. How many bites of a Chip Ahoy chocolate chip cookie does it take before you bite a chip? Probably one. And also depends on how big your bite is, right? You know, my son likes Chips Ahoy. What he does is he might put them in the microwave for a few seconds to soften them up, or I call them dunkers. I don't tend to eat much junk food, but if I eat a cookie, I've got to dunk it in milk. I have to dunk it in milk, otherwise I'm not going to eat it. No offense to Chips Ahoy or anything, it's just, I have to dunk it in milk, or I don't want it. I like mine that way. But anyway, did you ever fold your cover? Look, they show it there. Fold like this. I didn't do that. Now, I remember Mad magazines, things like that. I would fold those all the time. I loved Mad magazine, you know, many years ago as a kid. And I do all the fold-ins on there, but I would never do it to my comics because, you know, it's a comic book. And it's like, no, you don't do that to a comic. Speaking of that, I remember when my wife first started reading comics. This was before she was my wife. I remember she was really into Spider-Man. She was reading a lot of Spider-Man. That's one of her favorites. And she'd take the comic book and, you know, she'd fold it over. I'd like, don't do that, don't do that. And she'd look at me like I was crazy. She'd be like, oh, are you kidding me? Well, the funny thing about that is that a short time later, when she started really getting into the comic books, she was just as bad. She was like, don't fold comic books over. So it's funny watching how she evolved in her comic book nerddom. All right, one more advertisement. This one's another cool one from TSR. Gamma Marauders. Never played it. If you ever have, let me know. Okay, what you know about it. It looks interesting. I like the artwork. It looks very alien type. You know, it's going for that kind of thing. Though this part up here, I think they could have done better. The hands, I mean, it looks great, but you can't really read it very well. And if you can't read it, it misses that getting your interest, that hook right off the bat. So maybe it's me and my old eyes. I struggle reading what the heck that says. So then I go here and the first thing it says is, and that's not good news. Well, what's not good news if you can't read it, right? But it looks pretty good, pretty interesting. I'm interested to hear more about it and learn about it, because that's what I find interesting about these things, is going back and seeing what you missed, maybe bringing up memories. And that's one thing I like doing about these videos, is talking about the memories. Do you have any good memories from comic book ads or comic book stories in general, where you're sitting down with friends, chatting away, whatever it may be? If so, I would love to hear it. So please let me know in the chat. Do you have any of these memories, anything that you thought was interesting? I would love to hear it. Share it with the community. I do these videos as community builders. I don't expect this video to do like massive views. They usually don't. But I do them for the community building and the talking. You know, it's just like friends getting together. This is fun to me. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Also, if you don't mind, thank these people here. These people that you are now seeing on the screen. Without these people, this video wouldn't be possible. They have contributed to this channel for a long time. They are why I'm able to do the things I am, why I'm able to get the things I can to review, as well as the comic books, the tech and all that, because I don't always get all the tech given to me. I have to pay for a lot of pocket. I'm hoping to build the channel enough, or I build enough where people want to start giving me things to review, but I'll still make sure they're always honest. I mean, I do get that once in a while, don't get me wrong. I do get that sometimes, but my reviews, I always, you know, I'll make sure I mention that, and they're always going to stay honest. But I would really love, like, guitar companies to say, hey, you want to check out and review this guitar? I would love that. Or you know, effects processors, things like that. Whatever it is, I just find that stuff fun. And the same with comic books. I sometimes get people, hey, you want to review this? That's wonderful too. And I love talking to all you people. So anybody has a project you're working on, just let me know. And I'd be see if we can work out something to talk to you about it, interview you, and share it on the channel. All right, everybody, thank you for your time. Until next time, keep it frugal.